Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. So I recently made a video about my BFS setup going into 2022. A lot of you guys seem to really enjoy that video, and I actually got a couple messages from you guys on Instagram asking me what lures do I like to use or what lures would I recommend for inshore saltwater fishing, especially when you're targeting redfish, flounder, and speckled trout. Lures I like to throw on those setups. So today, that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about the recommended lures that I recommend to you guys to use if you are getting to this BFS fishing. And quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is shopkarls.com. And shopkarls.com is a place I get majority of all my fishing tackle, and it's a place that you can get your ultralight finesse BFS stuff too, believe it or not. And if you use my discount code RXAngler10, you save $10 off your order of $25 or more if you're a ShopCarls member. So check it out. There's a direct link in the description box below. So let's go and show you exactly what we have in the box today. All right, so let me show you guys. I'm going to show you exactly what I have in the box, and then we're going to go over how I like to apply each one to the rig itself or the hook or whatever the case may be. So let's see, first item is going to be by Jenko Fishing. It's a tube looking plastic lure, pretty cool, really small, great for flounder. So this is the first one. The next one is going to be the famous Shimmer Swimmer by 10,000 Fish. You can get this at shopkarls.com. I highly recommend this. I've been using this on this channel for a good 2 years now. Here's a new item that I actually wanted to implement on a channel for a while. It's made by 10,000 Fish once again. This is a Yoto Worm. It's a small little bug looking thing. Not sure exactly what you call it. Okay, here we go. Irresistible tickle tail. But anyways, this is going to be a great lure to target flounder. So we'll talk about this in a second. I got some jig heads because jig heads is part of, or it's a very important part of my arsenal setup when it comes to paddle tails and trailers like these. This is what I like to use, a mushroom head jig made by Heavy Metal. This is tungsten, and right here, this is the 1/8 ounce 2-aught, but we'll talk about this in a sec. And this is one of those products that actually ShopCarls does not have that I actually highly recommend. You can get these at Academy or Amazon, which there's a direct link in the description box below. This is made by Strike King. It's called Mr. Crappie Slabalicious, and this right here is the Tuxedo Black Chartreuse, a very small micro paddle tail that I like to use on my bugs, or actually like to use it by itself. And speaking of bugs, this video won't be complete if we don't talk about bugs, because bugs is all about small micro lures and BFS, and they've really honed in to the needs of the Texas inshore saltwater fisherman that's looking to use BFS and ultralight finesse to target finicky lockjaw fish. So we'll talk about these in just a second. Okay, so let's talk about the Shimmer Swimmer. You guys are very well versed about the Shimmer Swimmer. This is one of those staples that's been in my tackle arsenal for a long time. And it's not the smallest ultralight freaking paddle tail you can get. I know Kitech in Japan, or even those Japanese fishing, websites, you can get really small ultralight paddle tails. But this is great for redfish, flounder, speckled trout, inshore fishing. And I like to use it on the tungsten right here. So let me show you exactly what it looks like. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't that look freaking awesome, man? That looks very finesse to me. And this is a setup I've been using. I've caught a lot of great fish on redfish, speckled, trout, flounder, and it's so versatile, has a lot of action and movement. It comes in different colors. I do like the clear because our water's a little bit clearer during the winter time, and you're able to have at least 12 inches of visibility with our waters. Obviously, if you're in Florida, it's better, or somewhere else, but yeah, this setup is great. I love this tungsten weight and the small 2-aught hook. Okay, so next item of business is the Jenko Fishing, which I just showed you. It looks like a little tube lure, but it's not really a tube lure. It's like an octopus looking squid, mini calamari looking lure. And I like to use it on a jig head on this little TT lure right here. And let me show you exactly what it looks like when I have it rigged. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't that look freaking stealth? That looks finesse and ultralight to me. I mean, that's going to trigger some flounder bite. I'm really looking forward to using this. Love those little calamari legs that kind of just dangle in the flounder's face. So what I plan to do, my strategy is I'm going to work those apexes in those marshes, especially where those drop offs, it goes from like 1 foot to like 3 to 4 foot, and just bounce it on that incline just like that. And I'm going to hopefully think that some flounder are going to be sitting there, especially when there's tide movement, and that octopus leg or these calamari legs are going to trigger that bite from that flounder, and hopefully I can catch a big one, like 18-incher. take home for me to eat. But yeah, I love the setup right here. I think this is going to be money in the saltwater marsh. All right, so I want to talk about the little Yoda Worm, which I also, plan to use this in my arsenal, and I think it's probably honestly a bigger version of this little tube bait right here. But I think this is going to be great, especially if I'm targeting a little bit deeper water. I need something a little bit heavier, but I want to stay ultralight finesse. I'm going to be using this little Yoto Worm here. And look at this. I just want to show you guys. Look at that little tail. Just keep on wiggling. I mean, right there is going to trigger the bite from the redfish, flounder, speckled trout. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. A lot of freshwater guys actually, they swear by this little lure here. And this is going to be the first time I'm trying it. It's small. I don't think it's more than 2 3/4 inches in length. But yeah, how I'm going to be setting it up is I'm going to be using a jig head. Let me show you which jig head I like to use. This is the jig head I like to use if I'm not using the tungsten. This is made by Coastal 360 GT, which you can also purchase from Shop Karl's. And this is a great lure, jig head company I've been using for a couple years now. Stays really sharp, doesn't rust. But this right here is the 1/8 ounce 2-watt hook size. And if I can't get the tungsten or I run out of tungsten, I will quickly use this in my arsenal. It's a perfect size to be rigging up like 2 3/4 up to 3 inch length and paddle tail, maybe 2 1/4 inch length. That might be pushing a little bit, but let me show you exactly what it looks like on this. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't that look stealth to you? I mean, that to me screams out finesse. And it's a little bit bigger than finesse. I would say it's probably like ultralight territory, not truly ultralight finesse BFS, but still, who cares? I mean, this is going to be a great arsenal to use to catch the flounder. I mean, it's just that tail, that action, that movement with that jig head. I think that's going to be really good, especially when they're locked jaw. And because this looks totally different than any of the bait that you see out in the marsh. So when a flounder senses this, or even a redfish, they're going to want to hit it because just instinctively they just gotta, the predator DNA in them just want to, attack it because it's just so different looking. But yeah, I think that's going to work really nice. Okay, so let's talk about the Strike King Mr. Crappie Slabalicious. I've been using this for a good couple of years, guys, and if you've been following me for that long, you guys know that I swear by this. And I usually like to use it on a trailer on a flats bug made by Bugs Fishing Lures, but also like to use it by itself, believe it or not. So let me show you exactly what it looks like on a jig head. All right, we're going to be using the little TT lure that I like to use if I'm not using tungsten. The reason why I like to use this is because I believe the shaft on this is 1-aught, not 2-aught. So it's going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to fit perfectly on this Slabalicious. So let me show you exactly what it looks like. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't that look freaking good? That's right here. To me, this is a miniature paddle tail. And as I stated, if it gets tough, the bite gets tough, I'm not able to get them to bite because for whatever reason, I will throw this rig on right here and throw it on the Aldebaran BFS all day long. Really small ultralight setup, and I'm catching those big redfish, flounder, speckled trout. Believe it or not, this small lure has caught me some big fish over the years. And this thing, man, I'm not going to throw this away out of my arsenal. It's here to stay. I mean, it's one of those secret type lures that you use when the bite is super, super tough. Okay, so we can't talk about inshore BFS ultralight. We don't talk about the Bugs Fishing Lures. And today I want to really focus on the brand new Trout Thumper. This is made in the 1/8, or that actually comes in 3 sizes, excuse me. It comes in 1/4 ounce, 1/8, and what you see in my hand is the 1/16 ounce. And this thing, I've caught already a 22-inch trout, so I know this thing really works. And I've been one of the testers for Heath, who's the owner of Bugs. I've tested this out maybe over a year ago, and it's finally coming to production. There's a direct link in the description box below, but it's a new trailer, it's a new design, new jig head. Reason why it's brand new is because the old Trout Thumper, I remember it just fell like this to the ground, whereas this has a slow horizontal movement. It's almost a suspending, sinking movement, and it just really slowly shakes to the ground, and that tail just moves while it goes horizontally to the bottom of the ground. It really aggravates the trout, and that's why I think this is going to be a great lure to use. And believe it or not, I like to use paddle tails in the beginning of my fishing session because I like to use the search and destroy type lures. And this is a paddle tail from Bugs, believe it or not. Finally, we get a great paddle tail. Not to say the old Trout Thumper wasn't, but I really am loving this lure right here, especially on BFS 1/16 ounce. If I'm using a heavier rig, I'll opt for the 1/4 ounce and just throw that out a little further. I mean, this is, man, I can't wait to use this on some wade fishing sessions to target the big mama gator trouts, and hopefully, God willing, I'll be able to catch my 30-incher one day. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to throwing this. And like I said, this just came out in the market. I highly recommend you guys check it out. There's a bunch of different colors. And yeah, I think it's going to be a winner for Heath. And last but not least, we have to talk about the bugs. Flats bug, the black and gold. This right here is a 3/16 ounce. This right here is probably top 2 of my favorite bugs lures to use. Curl tail being up there. But when it comes to ultralight BFS, this is a great lure to throw on my setups because it's lightweight. It's freaking effective. I've caught so many big fish, and it's very versatile. Meaning, if I don't want to use this trailer in right here that's provided by Heath, guess what? I'm going to throw a Mr. Crappie on, and this is what I've been using in the past years. You guys have seen me interchange, you know, the OEM trailer on the bugs, flats bug, and putting on the Mr. Crappie, and it's really been an effective lure, especially when it comes to flounder fishing and sight casting redfish. And this is great BFS stuff. You cannot have this in your arsenal, especially when it comes to inshore saltwater fishing. So guys, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. Do you agree with my BFS recommended lures as is right now? Now, don't get me wrong, there are actually more BFS lures that I have in my arsenal, which I didn't really want to include because this video will get too long. But maybe in the future I will if you guys really love this type of video. But let me know in the comments below, and also give me some recommendations of some lures you might use that's BFS ultralight finesse that you use to target redfish, flounder, and speckled trout. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love every single one of you guys, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.